So thank you guys for jumping on with us. Tonight, we're talking about the color personalities, and we will then delve into the color personalities for network marketing, which is an excellent book that everybody should read. You know, knowing your own color personality traits are super, super important, but it's even more important to know the color and personality traits of the people you're talking to, right? So when we do presentations, as you've probably noticed, we change the slides very often. We keep it kind of fresh and kind of new. That's for the blue people who get bored very easily. We keep adding new details, new statistics, new data for the green people. That, you know, we try to keep it short and sweet and to the point for the red people. And then, of course, the whole presentation is geared towards community and culture and loving and team, which is for the yellow people. So we're going to talk a little bit about these 4 different colors, the traits, their weaknesses, and how to spot them when you are talking to them. So let's get started.
I think the biggest part about knowing the colors is it's about narrowing it down. You just narrow it down much easier, much quicker when you're talking to somebody.
Yeah, that's very true. All right, so let's get going. Okay, 4 personality types. So there's probably 25 different descriptions, but when you look at all of them combined, they all kind of come into the same fold, right? We have our drivers. The drivers are the red personality: competitive, demanding, determined, purposeful, focused, take charge, quick decisions, right? Like this. Then we've got our expressive personality type, which is social, dynamic, enthusiastic, motivational, inspiring, creates excitement wherever they go. Then we've got our green personality, are analytical, they're cautious, precise, deliberate, they ask lots of questions, more formal, they focus on the facts, the logic, the statistics, and they commit to things pretty slowly after they have all the details. And then there's the yellow. The yellow personality is caring and encouraging, you know, the mothers of the group. They're patient, cooperative, and they don't like conflict, and they're like the peacemakers of the group. And every group and every person has each of these 4 personalities within them. But there's one that is usually very more dominant than the other personality types. And our corporate directors tonight are going to train on these personalities from their own perspective, how they like to be sold, what they like to hear when looking at a network marketing company, a business opportunity, but also how the best way is to talk to other people in their category. So let's start with the yellows. Okay, the yellow personality is all about let's be friends. Can't we all just get along? Right? So when I think of yellow personalities, think of people like Mr. Rogers and Betty White from the Golden Girls. School teachers, nurses, Mother Teresa, clergy. So these are all kind of that personality type. And I'm going to let Sherry Denny jump forward and talk about her and her yellow personality.
I thought for sure, because it was the lower right-hand corner of that box, I'd be last on this, but I'm so prepared with this because it's interesting. I used to be really, really blue. I mean, so blue, you could see oceans of water coming out of me. And then I got really, really red because I got tired of listening to everybody's BS about this, that, or the other, why they didn't want to, and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to ramrod my way through this and just make everything happen. And I never really got green because honestly, I like to jump in with both feet, line, hook, and sinker, and figure it out. I'm not that green. I don't know what is in green people that makes them want to be green. Honestly, Kevin, I just can't relate. But I love you to death. So I don't know if you guys know this, but if you can search all these things all over the internet, and you can find the disc code, you can find red, green, yellow, blue, there's so many of them. One part, I think they said there's 25 of them. You know, there's really only 4. According to Big Al, and like he's the king of, you know, personalities. Wouldn't you agree? Everybody on here.
Yes.
Big Al has been such a good friend of mine for, oh my gosh, I'm thinking back 30 years now. And by the way, he lives in Thailand. And every now and then I'll be jumping into bed, not with Big Al, but I'll be jumping into bed and I'll be doggone if he doesn't text me. And we'll chat back and forth on, it's at 10 o'clock in the morning for him. And I'm an early go to bed. So it's like 9 o'clock for me. But it's interesting, the conversations that we come up with. And I said, hey, by the way, you know me pretty well. So over the years, what color personality do you think I am? And he said, you've always been yellow. I had to agree to disagree with him, but it's interesting. There's so many different tests out there that you can take, but his is probably the most popular. And did you guys know that some of these surveys that are taken, that yellow is the highest test score of all of them? I noticed watching people putting them in there that it was yellow, 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 yellow. And I used to be afeared. I call it that. So I used to call my kids. I'm so afeared of that. I'm so afraid of being yellow because then people will see that I'm vulnerable and that maybe I'm not a good leader and maybe I'm worried about what people think. That is so yellow. So I do feel I'm more yellow now than I ever have been. As a matter of fact, I remember, I think it was a couple months ago, I was talking to Julia. I've even talked to Tina, and they said, oh, you're yellow. And I'm like, really? You know what? I guess I better face the fact. I am yellow. And this has actually turned out being really good because for me, I'm so much more secure in knowing what I am, so I can actually talk to other people. And I got to tell you, when I read some of the facts about a yellow, I'm going, oh yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's me. Oh my gosh, that's me. Oh, heaven forbid. Oh my gosh, that I'm so yellow. So over the years, like I said, I've mainly been blue, red, and never green, but yellows, come to find out, are some of the nicest people in the world. Don't y'all agree? I see Kathleen Erickson on here. She's one of the most nicest people I've met. She's just so many of you just exude yellow. So they really care about folks. Yellows are natural born peacemakers, like Tina said. There's always going to be a group that has a yellow in there, even if you're I got to take this back to my high school years. I guess I was yellow back then too. And you're out at a party and some explosion happens and you're the one in there trying to make everything mellow out, make everything just fine. That happens here in network marketing as well. So in many cases, yellows are, they want to keep the harmony, but they're also very creative. Hello. I don't know, you can't see it behind me, but I play the guitar. A lot of you don't know that, but I can strum a pretty good 12 string. And they're creative. They're songwriters, they're musical people. All four of my kids are the same thing. They're all musicians. They write screenplays. They're just very creative. And this all comes from being in that yellow place of really good stuff. But man, you guys, there's some not so good stuff. Do y'all want to hear about that part too? Because it all ties in together.
Let's stick to all the good stuff first.
Okay, so well, it's not so bad.
Organized. Don't you think yellow people are the most organized?
That yes, very organized. As a matter of fact, if you come to my house or probably any yellow person's house, it's clean. They got everything in its place, and they want to help everybody. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. But I will tell you, the other side of the coin, they're not materialistic. See, these aren't bad things. Yeah. But the reason I say this is because when you're talking to somebody, whether they're red, green, yellow, blue, you need to know how to talk to that person. And you need to know what color personality they are. So your next question is, well, heck, how do I find that out? Well, we've always used, at least I do, I use FORM, family, you know, what organizations, what, you know, what they deal with, is there any other, what am I trying to say here? Well, let's just go into this. And then the R is their, you know, they got, oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank here on form. Ask about things that they enjoy about their family, about their occupation, about recreation, and if you can, you get to money. So how do you know what personality they are if you don't ask them specific questions? And by the way, ask probing questions, right? Ask about their family, especially if you know them. Ask even deeper questions about their family. Ask all the really good positive questions that you can about that. Be writing mental notes or taking down notes. And then when it gets to, you finish that part of it, ask the other side of the coin. So what was it that you possibly didn't like so much about the family? And I don't mean, God, you know, I don't like this person or so and so. What part do you not care for so much? Like maybe you're away from your family too much, things like that. Or what part do you not like so much about your job? When you hear their answers, just the way that they talk, you're going to know, if you know the colors, you're going to know their personality. And especially when you get into the money part of it, I really try to head toward that. I did an excellent, I don't want to call it a job on somebody yesterday. So I called Tina this morning and talked about it. Somebody that was coming in trying to talk to me about their program, and I completely flipped it around and asked, what would it look like if you did it this way? Because I figured out his personality was about just getting right in there and getting the job done and getting the money in his pocket. And that to me is a definite red person, right?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
I had to turn it around and turn my yellow into red. And it worked so well that this helped somebody on our team sponsor somebody at a way higher level than he anticipated. And I was really happy about that as well. So learn how to talk, listen with both ears, and keep yourself from ever interrupting any color. Because that's the one thing that I have found they want the most is when you ask them a question, they want to answer it.
Right.
Even if it's dead silence for a few seconds. So I've learned a lot being more yellow now. I do have other parts of me, blue, yeah. But another thing about yellow is, and all you yellows on here, you're going to totally get this. We are so introverted, right? We here lately, I'm not say lately, I've been this way for quite a while now. I used to love, that's the blue me, get out and be in crowds and a whole bunch of people and, you know, just party. Now it's the sit back and watch. That's that yellow personality. So, you know, we all use, like on here, I love this slide you have up here right now, Tina, because the key words, you talk about a team with a yellow person, you talk about being together and relationships and everyone succeeds. That's a big one that I talk about, that when we come together here as a team, you have so much support, everybody succeeds. And how the money will help. I had a great time with that guy yesterday on how the money would help. So anyway, I know I could talk an hour on this, but
Yeah. We do have some other corporate directors that are yellows, but that was a good job, you know, and I think thorough. When I think of the yellow personalities, I think they're so thorough and they think of all they get things done in such a way that makes it look effortless, right? They just kind of move through life and everything's kind of effortless and peaceful and friendly and, you know, team.
You know, Tina, that's true. And it's interesting how that is so true, but in the background, people don't know what's going on in the background. And we're back there pulling our hair out. We're getting gray hair. Well, all that same stuff is happening, but we don't make a big deal about it.
Yes, agree. And sensible. I think sensible when I think of yellows. They're these nurturing mother type, sensible, dependable, reliable, supportive. You know, if you were looking for support, you got to find a yellow to be connected with, right? But
So is that why they call me Mama Bear up here?
yes, I think that is exactly why. Well, let's hear from Lori Flynn. I know Lori Flynn is also a yellow. Lori, is this pretty right on when it comes to you and your personality?
Actually, yes, I haven't seen this graphic before, and yes, I could probably check off almost every single one. I feel like as I have aged, I have added in things from the other colors. It was kind of hard for me to do the test because there were some of them I'm like, no, I used to would respond that way, but now I won't. But yeah, overall, I have to agree with Sherry. I'm like 99% yellow, and yes. It's just
Yes, that does come with age, Lori. I'll back you up on that one.
And I know Pamela also said she's a yellow. Pamela, is this all?
Oh, yes, this is
Related to you?
completely, totally me, like to a T. And it's interesting because when I first took the quiz, you guys might be surprised, I came out red and I was like, that's wrong. I'm not a red, I'm a yellow. I don't even know what the yellow is in terms of Big Al, but I know I'm not a red. But I went back and I think I took the quiz in terms of how I want to be and like how I'm striving to be. And some of those questions were really hard because there wasn't a clear, oh, I'm this and I'm not that. It was like, well, but I would like to sit at the table and welcome everyone, but I also would like to sit in the front row, but I also would like to be giving the presentation, you know? So it was like, okay, I don't know, but really, Pamela, which one, if it was today or tomorrow, which one would you do? And I'm like, I would check everyone in at the welcome table, you know? So I took it again, and of course it came back yellow. I'm like, okay, that's better. That feels right. And I agree with everything that Sherry said, 100%. Absolutely, to a T.
That's awesome. I love it. So when you think about the way they dress, typically they will dress a little more modest, casual, comfortable, pastels, earth tones. Is that pretty accurate for you guys?
That is spot on. That is so Alaskan. Yes.
So,
Comfortable, yes.
so when you're thinking about it, because sometimes we have to make a judgment like fast, like right now, right? Right now, I need to make a decision on how I'm going to talk to this person. Sometimes they'll give you clues, even just by the way they're dressed, into what their color might be. Is Tina D'Angelo still on with us? Nope. Okay.
She actually is, but she's at an event
Okay.
and I believe she's waiting to talk to somebody.
Okay, well, we'll let it go then, but I know she is, I was surprised to find out yellow, green. I would have said green, yellow. Because of her mind is, you know, but if she comes back on, we'll have her talk a little bit about her yellowness as well. So weaknesses, they can be oversensitive because they're all focused on other people and you know, making everybody happy. They can get their feelings hurt pretty easily, right? They're not that goal oriented all the time. Now, again, I'm not saying these are weaknesses in any of our corporate directors. Clearly, we are all the colors, right? But when it comes to dominant colors, they don't always stand up for themselves. Sometimes they'll just take a back seat because they're peacemakers. They'll take the back seat because they don't like conflict or drama and they want to keep the peace. They can be a little more indecisive because they tend to want to make people happy, right? They can be indecisive and they'll wait until everybody else makes their decision and then go with the flow. Okay. And they take rejection pretty personally. So network marketing is tough for yellows, although it attracts a lot of yellows because the community and the culture and the fact that we get to help people. How many times have we done calls just like this? And I say, how many of you joined this company because you want to help people get healthy and wealthy? And, you know, 75% of the people raise their hands. So people are super attracted to network marketing because of those, right? The dislikes, they don't like pushy people or bullies or conflict or drama, right? All right, let's move on to the next personality, which is the blue personality, right? Fun, fun, fun. Till the daddy takes the T-bird away, right? It's all about the fun. They're social and hip and trendy. Love to tell stories. They're active and energetic, and they dream these big dreams, you know, and they're risk takers. They have no regrets. They live in the moment. They have a high energy, positive, enthusiastic, fun loving. You can see by some of the pictures here. When I think of the cheerleader, right? The cheerleader is the perfect blue personality. Joan Rivers, all about the fun and the personality. Katy Perry with her extravagant clothing and her, you know, and her fun personality. Elf. I don't know why, I just always think of Elf when I think of the blue personality, and he has that look on his face when anything serious comes up. And it's all about the fun. Car salesman, right? Most car salesmen are blue personalities. They take fun and selling to a next level because they can do them both at the same time. They actually love selling, right? Trendy, popular, infectious personality, life of the party. We have a blue on this call with us right now, and that would be Julia. Julia, you want to talk about the blue personality?
Yeah, I was laughing. I'm like, wow, I didn't see it this way, but I love what I'm seeing. Okay, this is exactly me. First of all, I'm a Sagittarius also, which is Sagittarius is also very much the same description. Loves selling, loves to meet new people. Money motivated, yeah, I would definitely say that. Love to be on the team. Very loyal, very romantic, very sincere. I am adventurous. I have had my moments where I got nervous, but I still pushed forward, didn't I, Tina? You've seen that for sure. I would say that we are absolutely the people who want to be seen. And you guys know that about me. I love to be seen. I love to wear big, bold jewelry, bold colors, a hat. You know, I'm going to be the person who wants to wear the costume. I remember when I was very first in sales, I would still dress up for Halloween. I mean, I was an adult and I still, was just anything to wear a costume, anything to have a party. I'm trying to think of all the other people.
With that?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it, Kelly. You and I are absolutely going to go do that. We're going to go and we're going to put on a costume. I think, is Deborah Pringle also blue, or does she come in as yellow?
She came in as red.
As red, I'm surprised because Deborah, I see you and I think of you as
No, I am red, blue, and yellow. I apparently can't make up my mind.
red, blue, and yellow. There you go. That's right. I definitely want to sit in the front row. Pamela, it was so hard to choose between, should I sit in the front row or should I help at the sign-in desk? I am a sign-in desk person because then I can talk to every single person who walks in the room. But the reality is I can't sit still long enough to do that. We're also extremely chaotic, hectic. I never stop talking, which means I don't listen very well. I'm totally unorganized. I mean, I work hard to be organized. I focus on getting my closet color coordinated, but that's just so that I can go in and tear it up and mess it up and do it again. I might be the most disorganized person in this entire group who fights it every step of the way. Like I just fight it, try to be that way. I would say colorful, flamboyant, that would be how I dress typically. I'm wearing black today, and I think that's me being flamboyant because normally I would never wear black. I would only wear the other colors, but I don't know. I'm trying to, this nails it. And I never thought of Katy Perry or Joan Rivers or Elf as blues, but boy, you are so right, Tina. And we do love to be the life of the party. And so I always thought that maybe that was red, to want to be the life of the party, but
No, it's the blue.
No, they just want to be the richest at the party.
oh, they just want to be the richest. Well, rich is fun too, but only if it gets me to do the fun things I want to do, which is always my struggle with the why. Because why do I want to do this? And, people will say they want the money. And I'm like, yeah, but I just want the money so that I can go on a trip or can go to, get a pool or go swimming. Oh, Julie Martin is, Julie, are you also a blue? Are you a blue? Yes, she's a blue too. Okay, cool. Awesome. And I was always trendy, even in wearing my uniform to school, Tina, I was still trendy. Like I would have, I don't know, bows in my hair or pins on my uniform skirt or whatever it was. A total risk taker. I am the person, this has always been me. I leap first and then I look at where I jumped from.
Yeah,
I never think about what I'm doing first. It's just whoop,
yeah.
where are we going? What are we doing?
And I think that's why blues are attracted to network marketing, because when you're talking to a blue person, what do they want to hear? They want to hear about the fun and the excitement and the travel and the lifestyle and the freedom and the culture and all the fun things, because they love to jump right into anything that's going to take them to a new level of fun and connection and meeting people and networking and all the things.
And the other thing too that's interesting is that we also have that personality that people tend to come over and sit down on a bus next to us and tell us their life story and talk to us, and they trust us, and we love to hear their story and hear all about them and learn all about them and keep in touch and make friends on vacation so that we can go back and meet them again later. Julie's nodding. It's totally how we are. But at the same time, you know, we're also the ones who, I hate to say this, but follow up is probably not my best suit.
Yeah.
Not a great follow-upper. I could meet everybody in the whole world in the grocery store. See, this is where Sherry is definitely yellow blue, because Sherry has that trustworthy personality, loves to make new friends, loves to talk to people, right, Sherry? I mean, isn't that true? Yeah, it's true. And
And I do a lot of follow-ups.
Yeah.
oh, and you do a lot of follow. Okay, I don't. I really, up till now, I've been terrible at follow-up. I have a great names list, and one day I'll call people on it. This is funny. It's making me laugh. I hadn't thought about it quite this way. I'm looking at my lists over here.
So the traditional professions for blues are sales, people in sales, entertainment, right? Public speaking, cheerleaders, realtors, right? Those are, yeah, those are all the typical professions for this. The dislikes, not having fun. If it's not fun, they are out, right? They don't like facts and figures, get bored fast, and classroom lectures are like the last thing they want to do.
Yeah.
Yes, and the weaknesses, maybe talk too much, poor follow-up, exaggerate stories, fickle, they're on to the next thing easily, forgetful and late. So now let's hear with, why are you looking at me like that? After saying all this.
Because I know you're saying that, directing that towards me.
No,
Yes, you
but you are very blue.
Yes, you are. I know I'm definitely blue, yes.
You are very blue. So why don't you talk to about how you, when you're being sold something, because you buy a lot of things. So when you're being sold something,
You all heard that, right? You
How-
buy a lot.
but how do you
I
like to
stress
be
that.
sold? When somebody talks to you, what is the things they can say to you that make them,
It's
you want to
everything
do
you just
business
said.
with
If
them?
they're, if I'm not having fun, if they're boring and giving me a bunch of facts, I'll just be honest, and I hope this doesn't scare anybody. But my decision to be with this company, what happened in 20 minutes? I took a RLX and 20 minutes later I fell asleep. And that was enough information for me to know that that drop and the rest of those drops must be the best damn thing that I've ever had, because I've never experienced something like that ever that worked that fast. So that's how much information I needed to know that this is the best product and the best company in the whole universe, right? And I still believe that today. Aside from my super good intuition, but like, that's it. That was the night. Like some
Yeah.
people were witnessing that decision because we were not like jumped in at that point. You know, we were just kind of looking at it, wondering what, it's going to be. And it was that instantaneous. So I needed very, very little information. But yeah, I mean, I get bored quick. I think a lot of people get bored on information, being as how that we have like it used to be 4 seconds. Now it's 1.4 seconds
Yeah.
on social media to grab somebody's attention like that and get them to look at what you're doing. And if you're not, out there and, being a little bit different then everybody else, guess what? You're not getting noticed. What's his name from Got Talent?
Simon.
Isn't it funny how Kelly just demonstrated how we are by how he spoke? He
Yes.
exaggerated everything he said. He got distracted right in the middle of his sentence.
Exactly. And I will quote Simon Cowell, "Don't be boring." He was asked that on a book I read, and he goes, "What's the most important thing you could tell anybody, to advance themselves in the world?" And he said, "Don't be boring." And I remember that one the most. Because I thought it was the lamest answer, the most, I thought it was the laziest answer, really, in the moment. And I thought, man, that was the most brilliant answer, because that's the one I still remember every day. Every time I get dressed, I think, don't be boring. And try not to be like everyone else. So you got that little extra edge. It gives you that extra edge. So that's what I was thinking about. But listen, I could go over all 4 colors as it pertains to coming to Kelly and Tina's Halloween party, for our Halloween party. So because if you got the invite right now and you're, red, because, we've invited people to and some people have flown across the country to go to our party. And I'm not saying you're invited. I'm just saying if you're
I
invited,
think they're all invited.
if you're red, okay.
Everyone on this call right now, you are totally invited.
Okay, that was what I needed to hear. Since you guys are here, you're invited. But if you're, red, you're thinking, you know what, it might cost a little bit much for a ticket. I'll just go out for a party. Like, unless I'm gonna make some money doing it. All right, there's red. All right, here's blue. Of course I'm coming. Dress up, party, like all kinds of fun. Gotta come. We're coming, right? And then the green's like, you know what? Like, but really, I haven't really heard much about this party. Like, I don't have enough information.
Well, who else is
Like,
coming?
Who else
And-
is coming? Like what kind
Yeah.
of food are they having? Like,
Yeah.
I heard Kelly barbecues, but is it like good barbecue? Like, or is it like Traeger? Or is it like real
I have a great
smoking
explanation.
with wood,
We haven't,
real wood?
we haven't talked
or
about green
like-
yet, but wait, I do have a friend who's really, really green. And she asked me 4 times last year, but what time does it end? And I said, I don't know. It starts at 8. And when the DJ stops playing, then
When
it's
Kelly
over.
falls asleep on the pool table,
And then he says, and then she said, but what time? But like, what time do you think it'll be over? I'm like, I couldn't even, but that's a green. And we'll talk about that
tomorrow,
one day.
it'll be over tomorrow. It'll be over like the day after, because that's just how it goes. So, and if you're green, yeah, you're
And
asking questions like, what time's it start? Who's gonna be there?
What
and
can I,
What can I
and
bring?
the yellows,
And what's everybody else bringing?
and the yellows always say, well, can I come early and help you set up? Can I come in the kitchen? And they're the ones that are washing the dishes before the party's even over, because they want to help and make sure that
I do love
everybody's taken
yellows.
care of, right? So,
I do
yes,
love
and we've
yellows.
already had several red people say, you are having the party this year, right? I'm like, I don't even know the date yet, but yes, because the planners, right? They gotta know.
And by the way, you don't want to miss that part.
Okay,
The best
Okay,
party in the
Blue.
world. It is the greatest party.
all right, let's move on to the greens. Okay, green personalities, data driven, logical. Remember Dragnet? Just the facts, ma'am. That is your typical green personality. They're not emotional decision makers. They're rational decision makers. They'll check things multiple times. Even if you say, I promise, this is the time, they'll still ask 4 more times. Is this the time? They can be skeptical, but they're really good listeners because they're always listening for that thing, that data. They plan everything. They're extremely accurate, follow through and follow up, incredibly persistent, punctual, organized, neat. They love to be right. They love to read, super curious, intellectual, and very committed. And even the voice of, we talked about the voice. I think you got it. You guys got it from Julia and Kelly. Loud, fast, and in story form. They like to tell things in the form of a story. And greens are kind of the opposite. Very soft, very polite, but very detailed. Right, very detailed. They're dressed more conservative and formal. Their professions tend to be engineers, CPAs, accountants, computer, IT, writers, writers are very detailed, scientists. And we do have a green on with us. Kathleen, is she on with us tonight?
Yes, I'm here.
Apparently Kevin.
The
And
parent-
Kevin,
Okay, Kathleen, go ahead and describe your green personality.
so the green part of me is that I'm very curious. So I want to know things. I want to know the background, what's going to happen with the knowledge that I have. So that's part of the analytical side of me, is that and when I find something I'm very interested in, I go deep. I'll go as deep as I can with it. I'll travel with it. I'll experience it. It's so my green is kind of a little different in that I am not the accountant. I have a lot of the other colors in me, but boy, when I find something that fits within the frame of knowledge that I've reached and gotten and understand, I'm totally committed to it. I am, I'm out there witnessing, proselyting, basically, and if you want to say that. And then all my other colors kind of come in and bring out that green even stronger in a lot of cases. But so I'm a green at heart, I think, but I'm also a lot of other things because of life around me and things that, I've occurred in my life. And so Kevin really is more of your analytical person. When he can come up with a PowerPoint that has all the numbers and details on how we can get on the cruise with 10 prime customers, he's got those numbers down great. Me, I'm the knowledge seeker. I want to know why things work, how things work, and go into that. I love the science of that kind of understanding of life.
And every now and then we get somebody who says, I prospected this guy and he wanted all the facts and figures and the data and the science and the this and the that. And sometimes I just say, you know what? No matter what you send, it's not going to be enough. Because sometimes green personalities are so hard to please because their thirst for the knowledge leaves them unsatisfied, right? But it's so amazing to have greens on the team because you can call them up at any time and they're like better than Siri. They know everything. And I called Kathleen today and I'm like, hey, Kathleen, tell me that thing about the blood again, right? I asked like 5 times now because, what greens really want is the why. They want to know the why. Okay. Reds really want to know the how. How is it done? But greens want to know but why does it work that way? But why is it this way? But why are the numbers like this? But why does the technology work? Right? The why in everything. So they love facts and figures and graphs and charts, research and data. But they don't like pushy people, suggestions, right? They don't like, well, I suggest you have Uber pick you up around 1. No, they need to know 1:05 is when the party ends. And that's exactly the time their friend's coming to pick them up, right? They don't like estimations. So when you're talking, you want to make sure that you give them all the data. And that's really hard because in network marketing, so much of what we do is person to person and it's feelings and right. So greens are very difficult to get into network marketing, but when you get them in network marketing, they'll be the best salespeople ever because once they're sold on it, it's over.
It's a train.
Right? It's a
They're
done
nonstop.
deal. They're not going to be fickle and 3 weeks later join some new company. When they get it,
Correct.
they get it.
They do. And
Yeah.
I also want to say that greens can have these other edges to them. So there are going to be greens out there that when you get some information, some science behind this, then they're going to open up to other parts of their color schemes. And then you can sneak in the door with the caring person or the red person, or maybe they're a green that likes to party. But those are the ones that I think those kind of greens are the ones that are going to come in pretty easily without all the facts. There are eclectic kind of greens, but they do want to know the whys. Absolutely.
Yes. And the one thing I've learned with greens is you can't close them. I don't care if you're the best closer on the planet. You cannot close a green personality. All you can do is present the information and let them make a decision. If you try to close them, forget it. They don't like to be pushed like that. They want to take their time, do their due diligence, make up their own mind. So yeah, that's our green personality. Kevin, did you want to add anything to that real quick?
Yeah, just I was looking at the keywords, and why is there, but why not is also a key word for a green person. Because when things don't seem logical, that is definitely part of their voluminous amount of questions.
Yes, I agree.
So
All right.
someone just said it was the Ben Franklin closing. And if you have a green that's predominantly green, if you give them the gift and the ability to make the decision, and you praise them that they're going to make a decision, and let them know you're grateful and you're patient and accepting of whatever they come back with, then it frees up the green to really take a serious look at it.
I was asking about, actually, Kathleen, the Ben Franklin close, which is the pros and the cons list. So if you make a list and divide it down the center and say, these are all the reasons why, can you give me, like what Kevin said, can you tell me why not? Does that work for you guys?
It does, but I also found that if people give me the opportunity to make my choice and not push me, that's the other side. But that's good. I'm glad to get a deeper understanding of the Ben Franklin list. Yes, pros and cons do work. And it kind of opens that door to, okay, you know, gives them the idea, okay, I can make my decision here. She's not pushing me, she's letting me figure this out. So, yep.
The potential rabbit hole, the potential challenge with the pros and cons is that a green may say, okay, well, I'll need to do more research in order to do a proper why not list. So you may send them down a rabbit hole.
I love when I get on these on calls about math, because we do. I mean, we're in a business where we make money, so we talk about money and math, and it's always Kevin or somebody that's, if I'm $1 off, they let me know, and I'm like, okay, here's the real answer. I was just estimating. But I love that because, you know, somebody has to know the exactness of the numbers.
I mean, let me ask you, Kevin, how long did it take you to get to the point where you're like, okay, now I see this? I mean, what processes did you go through, like, just to help us out, you know, and what in the end was like the most important thing that got you over to go, oh, wow.
I saw originally I saw Joby's post on Facebook, and first thought was, what is this snake oil you're selling? And then and then she sent me some information, and I'm like, okay, I'll take a look at it. And I noticed that there was a promo happening. So I started to think, have I missed that promo? Do I need to take a look at this? So I went in and I watched the videos that she did, and I thought, well, if this looks amazing, I've never seen anything like it. It seems to make sense. Well, what the heck not? Let's go for it. And Joby was in Las Vegas, I believe, at one of that one early convention. And I just signed up, and she got a notification saying Kevin just signed up on your team. So I did it totally on my own, doing my research, didn't feel any pressure whatsoever. And it was, from Joby's perspective, she handled me perfectly.
Excellent.
Right.
Excellent.
That brings out the fact that Greens want to be independent. And that's why I said, if someone will let me go away thinking I'm making the decision, but they fed me the information, and they've kind of, you know, because I am more eclectic, if they told me about the fun time I'm going to have, and I'll be a part of a community, I can be a leader, then, you know, that draws me in too. But definitely, you know, independence, wanting to do things on our own.
Yes. Ready for the next color?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, on the colors, you know, if I got a call and I just saw it when you said, yeah, I just did it on my own, nobody did anything, you just did that. But if you were blue, you would have texted me saying, hey, I think I'm gonna sign up. Then another text, I'm signing up right now. Another text, I signed up.
Hey, you want to get on Zoom and celebrate?
Yeah, hey, let's party. Now I'm partying because I signed up. A rev was saying, hey, not only did I sign up, I already signed somebody else up.
Yeah.
All right.
I have a
And
party
a yellow
tomorrow.
is saying, I signed up and now I'm trying to find somebody to help. to sign up. So
Yeah.
that's all the colors, just based upon when you said, you know, nobody just pressured me or anything. I didn't feel any pressure. I just
Yeah.
did it. So and I love asking that question because it gives everybody else on here just kind of an idea of what color, especially if they're ready to go and like they're itching to sign up, don't stop that process. Just stop
Any of the
and let
colors.
it, that's red. Just so you know, red, when they're ready to go, like they've had very little information, like they fell asleep 20 minutes later, and they're like, yes, I'm done, I'm sold, let's go. Just get them going and just let them go. Yeah, and they'll go to work. So, and based upon the color, you can also know how much training kind of somebody's gonna need.
So let's talk about the strengths of a red personality. And I can't believe no one else put red in here except me, except all the reds are like, I'm busy working. Why do I gotta come onto your Zoom every Friday night? I mean, that's what they're saying right now, right? That's what they're saying right now. And then, okay, and then we're gonna go back to some of the other people who put their colors in here too. We have a couple more corporate directors we're going to chat with. But let's talk about the red. So strengths of the red personality, huge visionary. They hear an idea and they don't think, how can I make it to the first rank of the company? They think, how do I make it to Crown Ambassador? I know it's day 3, but that's where I'm headed. So I need that. That's where I want to go, right? My way or the highway. Confident and competitive, a risk taker, fast decision maker. Do it and live with it. No regrets. Very goal-oriented, focused, and intense desire to win, right? All I do is win, 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 no matter what, right? That's a very red personality, money motivated. They're focused on the bottom line. They always know the best way to accomplish something. They're problem solvers. You ever have a big problem, go to somebody red. In their head, they'll talk to themselves for 5 minutes and figure it out before you even know what's going on. Great organizers. They like to be in charge. They're always on the lookout for the next big thing. Very open-minded. They don't listen a lot because they think they already know everything. They're power players, very well connected, but they live by comparison. It's always what I have versus what they have, and what they're doing versus what this other person is doing. What's our company doing compared to everyone else's company? They always take the chance to be the team leader, to be in charge if given the opportunity. Vibrant, passionate, determined, and driven, strong-willed, and thick-skinned, not bothered by rejection. The voice is loud, fast, and forceful. Dress is stylish, dressed for success, pretty well put together. The professions include pilots, lawyers, CEOs, politicians, athletes, and a lot of network marketers. Weaknesses, not always the most compassionate. I can think of a lot of reds that just say, all right, get over it, let's move on, right? That's kind of one of those. Ego, short-tempered, domineering, impatient, and unteachable, because they feel like, I got it, stop talking to me, they want to take action, not listen to more instruction. So when you're talking to reds, you want to talk about the money, talk about the power, the ROI, control, get to the point fast, talk about results and recognition, because they don't like indecision, slowness, chit chat, or losing
You
control.
only need to sell them on one product.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
One product.
Or one thing about our comp plan.
Yeah.
And they're in. So Donald Trump is a very, very, very red personality, but so is Oprah Winfrey. Even though she's very about their talk show and helping and loving, she is a red personality with all of her businesses and her strategic mind. Heisenberg from Breaking Bad. If you watch Breaking Bad, man, he does not take no for an answer. He will not stop till he's at the top of the pile. Tom Brady, an athlete, right? You can see here in the red power suit. That's a very typical dress for somebody who is red. And like Kelly said, with reds, you just want to be highlights. Give me the highlights. I don't have an hour and a half to hear all about everything, but if you give me the highlights, I'll be pretty interested and make a decision pretty fast. Okay, I either like what I hear or I don't like what I hear. But if you try to go into the ingredients and all the things and the science, and if you're going to tell a red or a blue how the what's am I talking about? The products are made, you got to tell it in story form, right? Talk about the centrifuge and the DNA, how they extract the DNA and the negative ions and the lightning storm, because that's exciting to a red and a blue. But if you talk about, let me tell you about accumulate SA and all the technology behind it, blah, 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 blah. We don't want to hear that.
If,
Right.
well, let me give you some key, since it says training, some key things that Reds are gonna ask is, okay, product, great, what about the comp plan? Stop immediately talking about product. Do not even say one more thing. They're already sold on it. That means they're sold on the product already. Shut up and let me hear the comp plan, because I want to hear about the money. That's literally what they say. That's not what I say, but that's what's going on. So that's a key thing, point. You know, Lusa, and we, even Tina and I, in our presentations, we say key things to Reds, right? So they will stay the whole presentation to the end.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're out.
Right, blues will stay until the end. We always talk about the trips and the fun and all the stuff at the very end, because we know blues are staying through the whole thing because they think there might be a prize at the end or something fun, right? Or fireworks or, right? And I know Linda's on here with us tonight, right? Linda, are you on with us tonight?
I am.
Oh, good. And she's also red. So why don't you talk a little bit about the red personality?
So this is very interesting. I'm with being loud, fast, and forceful. I've been a CEO and run businesses for a really long time. I'm a bottom line girl. So you had me at Candy when Kelly called me. I'm like, are you serious? I'm in, because I could never choke down other stuff, and it's nutritious too. That's all I need to know. I'm good. So yeah, we're money motivated, we're goal oriented, do and live with it. So when we made up the decision, we just plow through and deal with the crap that we come across and keep moving. Yeah, sometimes it is really my way or the highway. I have to kind of turn it down and try to pull in some yellow, because I'm like, because you know, if sometimes I'm like, I guess we have to put our big boy panty or big girl panties on now, don't we? They'll be like, what? You know, if I've heard it, if I've heard their story a little bit, and I'm like, okay, let's kind of reframe that and get out of that, because otherwise people can get down that same pathway and repeat that story in their brain, and that's not helpful for them and moving forward either. So I'm like, oh, okay, I have to think of a better way.
Yes, I 100% agree with you. So I put this up here because it's incorrect. And I wanted you guys to look on here, and based on just what you've learned tonight, where do you see something incorrect?
Blues are extroverts.
So yes, so blues and reds are extrovert. Reds and yellows are the introvert. Okay, what else do you see here that's incorrect? I know everybody's totally.
Blues aren't logical, organized, analytical, questioning, or cautious.
Correct. Correct. Well, there's some of, but yes, for the most part, those are the greens. The yellows, where it says motivated, enthusiastic, sociable, dynamic, and inspired, those are the blues. So what about, let's do it harmoniously. Who's that?
Yellow.
Those are the yellows, right? What about, let's do it right?
Green.
Green.
And let's do it together.
Yellow.
Those are the blues.
Oh, the parties. Yes.
Yeah, the partiers. Let's do it together. And the red one is correct on let's do it now. Good job, you guys. All right.
Will you show the blue slide one more time?
Yes. All good?
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, let's do another one. So reds and yellows, big picture oriented. Greens and reds are task oriented. Yellows and blues are people oriented. And greens and blues are information oriented. I like this picture because it gives you a really kind of big picture. I'm a red, a big picture over what kind of people we deal with. And even if you don't remember, you're not going to remember everything on those slides I made today, but you will remember this, right? If you're talking to greens and reds, you want to give them tasks, to-do lists, right? If you are talking to reds and yellows, what's the big picture? Where do you want to take this? Where do you want to go, right? The visionaries. When you're talking to yellows and blues, they're people oriented. Talk to them about their list of people, who they prospected today, how many people they met, which kind of meetup groups they went to. And if you're talking to greens and blues, well, what did you learn today? Did you learn something new about APL Go? Did you share something new about APL Go? It's all about the information, right? So if you can kind of keep this in mind, you'll have a really good way to talk to your teammates about their goals and where they're going in this company. Here's another one. I just like the way that it was all the picture of it. I just like it says all the same things, but I just really liked the whole picture of how they put it all together. And because you can see here between the in between, right? In between red and blue is purple. And the purple, and there's a lot of people that share both red and blue. There's also a lot of people that are yellow green. So you'll kind of find everybody has the four, but most people are kind of in the middle of all of these. All right, and years ago, so anybody watch Sex and the City? Okay, so years ago, I used to train this we were running some networking groups, and once a year I would always train on these color personalities, and people would say the same thing. They'd say, well, but when I'm talking to somebody, like, it's hard to, at first glance, just hear their voice or look at what they're wearing and know how to talk to them. So I created a Sex and the City personality test. And if you watch the show, you'll get it. Miranda is the lawyer. She's with the red hair. She's very analytical, very detail oriented. Charlotte is, everything in her life is about family and being a mom and the art gallery and super creative, right? She's always in really cute sundresses and very trendy and hip. Carrie was the partier, right? She's a writer, but she was all about the party all the time. Every night it was a different pair of shoes and a different party to go to. And she was all about meeting new people and making new connections. Samantha was the CEO of a PR firm, very CEO, very goal-oriented. She knew where she was going. She didn't let anything get in her way. She didn't take no for an answer ever. So as you're talking to people, if you can, in your mind, just ask yourself, as they start talking, is this person a Charlotte? Or are they more like Miranda? Or are they more like Carrie? Or are they more like Samantha? And if you can answer that quickly within a couple of minutes of meeting somebody, then clearly you're going to know how to talk to them based on their personality, based on who they are, based on their job, how they're dressed, and all the things. So that is it for our presentation tonight.